Welcome back to the OHL Fanboys podcast from the 99th MasterCard Memorial Cup in Windsor, Ontario, which is just wrapped up. I am Steve McLean. With me, of course, is Adam and Ian, who have been so great. First of all, thank you guys for being such great contributors to the show this week and coming out to the tailgate party and every day. It's been a fun tournament.
I don't think we could have asked for a better host to have than the OHL Fanboys for this week, you know?
I'm not going to brag.
My words exactly. I just got to thank you and Brian for just being such great hosts and making us feel right at home all this time.
Oh, yeah.
We thank you guys for putting in work with us, and we'll get you some beers in a little bit. For anyone wondering where Mr. Brian Thompson is, of course the Windsor Spitfires win the 2017 Memorial Cup. He's off, I don't know, he disappeared. He ran. We are going to see some Brian celebration video before this wraps, so holy crap, stay tuned for that, everybody. But we're going to kind of just break down the game as it was. I think, no doubt, this was the game of the tournament. You couldn't have asked for a better final.
This for me, this was the game of the year. I don't think I watched a better hockey game played than this game right now, and it more than made up for the amount of blowouts and just one team games that we've seen throughout this tournament.
Yeah, just amazing how every time Erie scores, Windsor comes right back, and sure enough, they throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at them in the third period, and just get it to the point where Erie runs out of gas, and DiPietro, he shined whenever he needed to.
That first period, very close 1-1 game, and we'll kind of fast forward to the second because Erie got that 2-1 lead, and first time Windsor's trailed all tournament. But that goal, how did that count, guys? Because you've seen the video. That was pretty a clear kicking motion.
Well, I'm sitting literally right above the Spitfires net, and that was a kick into the net. He wasn't losing balance. He wasn't trying to stop. He was trying to deflect the puck, and it did, but it worked. So
yeah, it did look deliberate, but I look at it as Windsor scoring and getting one right back from Logan Stanley. So all's well that ends well, I guess. I
was going to say, I guess if you had needed any further proof that the hockey gods do exist, what was it? 50 seconds later, the Spits tied it back up. So just the atmosphere in here tonight. Of course, the game was sold right out. My ears hurt near the end. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, they're going to be ringing tomorrow, that's for sure. Maybe the day after.
I mean, we're literally in the rafters, and that's where all the sound is going and bouncing down. So from my perspective, loudest arena I've ever been in out of any league.
We needed some vuvuzelas, though. Make it real authentic.
I don't think so. It reminds me of the horns in Shawinigan in 2012 that they had. Those were awful.
Yeah.
Dylan Strome named MVP of the tournament. Now, I don't think anyone disagrees. He had a hell of a tournament for the Erie Otters, but in my mind, that was Michael DiPietro's award.
100%. He was tops on my list. If I was voting, it would have gone DiPietro, Strome, and Radish, Taylor Radish. But NHL Central Scouting's picking the winners, so he had a great tournament. But I'm not surprised they picked the top NHL prospect in this game.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I've been telling a few people down there that I would have voted for DiPietro, win or lose, if a game's this close, and makes a little bit more sense hypothetically if Windsor to lose for DiPietro to get it than Erie losing and Strome getting it. With all due respect to Dylan, because hell of a prospect, like we were saying.
He was one goal shy of tying the all-time record for goals in a single tournament at, I believe, 8 it was.
Yeah.
So he had a goal tonight. He was the one who answered very quickly for the Otters when the Spits got a 1-0 lead in the first period.
Yeah. I mean, he set a record in the 12-5 game for most points by a single player, but I think he won that MVP award based on one game.
And it was that 12-5 game when he had 7 points. It's unfortunate, but again, not to discredit Dylan Strome. Hell of a tournament from him. Let's talk about the Erie Otters for a moment here. Absolutely crushing loss for this whole franchise. Really, it really felt like this was going to be the one that the night they would win it all.
Yeah. Again, after last year, I have to scrap one of the better leads I've ever written for an article with Erie losing, but they have to go into rebuild mode now.
Did you save this one at least? No,
I didn't.
Write a new one. Right? It's like those championship shirts of teams that never win and they make it to Africa. We need to get
She just saved my drafts.
Yeah, exactly. Save them all.
Yeah, Erie, I mean, what more can you say about the year that they had, especially when you look at back to September. I think everybody expected them to have an okay year, maybe middle of the pack in the Western Conference, but sure enough, Dylan Strome gets sent back and they take off. And I'll even add that they were atop the league even when Strome came back, so that says something deep.
The question is always going to be about Troy Timpano. The Spits got their 4th goal tonight on just their 17th shot. Not that Timpano, he made a hell of a save in the first period when the game was still scoreless. What did you guys think about his game tonight?
Yeah, I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, that comparison to him and Justin Nichols from that Guelph team you were so fond of in 2014. But, maybe we're talking about an above-average goalie with just an excellent team in front of him.
Yeah, I can't say any more than that.
There you go. First of all, get in a little closer here, Adam. You're getting away from us here.
I showered today. You don't have to be afraid of nothing.
Geez, there's so many things to just think about, though. Obviously, we talked about the Otters. What a win, though, for the Windsor Spitfires overall. I mean, we talked about the noise in this building. The emotion that I saw on Brian's face tonight. Just they have more Memorial Cups than the London Knights now.
That is something to be proud of,
That was Brian's first thing to me. They have 3, London's only got 2. So
there we go, if we're going by numbers.
Now, a lot of people are going to, though, start questioning the format again, regardless of how deserving Windsor may be because of the tournament that they had. I don't think anyone here is questioning whether they're worthy or not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they did go out in the first round. I'm not sure if we've had a Memorial Cup champion who was out in the first round of the playoffs
not
before.
that I know.
I know we've had a few that have gone out in the second round, but longest, I believe, layoff ever for a Memorial Cup champion. Is this going to kind of start once again kicking those tides up about should we have a host team, or what do you guys think on that?
It will for sure. It already has, especially with a lot of non-junior hockey fans who are suddenly experts on the matter. But, we're always going to have this debate, whether we should expand it for TV, making it like an NCAA tournament, or whether we should just go back to picking 2 top leagues and, going a best of 7 to alternate with the Stanley Cup playoffs on off nights.
They're asking us if we want to buy.
Yeah, they're trying to shill some pizza here on us, so maybe we'll get some when we wrap up here. But Iain, I think you're about to add something.
Exactly, and it's sort of a mixed bag. I mean, yes, there's obviously a case to be made for whether the host team deserves to get in if they get an early exit. But then again, I mean, what's the alternative? You look at around February when the whole bid package goes in. That's an exciting time for a lot of teams, and it's something that everybody builds their rosters towards. They try to put the city together, put it in the spotlight, and really showcase themselves. And you're taking away a lot if you take away that host team.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
And having a host team makes it a convention, right, that people can plan around. If we were to pick, say, the best champion with the best record at the end of the playoffs, we got a week to set everything up.
I mean, we saw too, you just have champions, Erie's, nothing, again, not to discredit St. John, but that was a 12-5 game. The 2 games that Erie and Windsor played each other might have been the best 2 games of the whole tournament.
Yeah, and so you never know what you're getting with the champions and all the different playoff formats that are in the different leagues, and that affects it too.
Was there, in your guys' mind, a specific turning point at tonight's game? Both teams had the lead. For the 8th straight game in this tournament, the team that did score first won, but was there any kind of turning point that put things in Spit's favor other than the winning goal?
And I think I look back to Erie's blue line just creating a lot of turnovers and nothing too dangerous resulting from it, but maybe that's sort of the point where you could tell the wheels were falling off a little bit and getting more towards Windsor's favor rather.
I don't know. It was so close that I can't really pick anything, but if I had to pick something, it would probably be Windsor ending on a power play in the second and coming out with that advantage right off the bat. I mean, Erie didn't back down after that, but Windsor had it from then on. We'll
talk about the winning goal. The Spits had actually just killed off a penalty, and that's another aside. The Spits penalty kill was fantastic tonight. Guys blocking shots. Of course, DiPietro was amazing as we got into, but that winning goal, I think everyone, obviously, if this had gone to overtime tonight, everyone and their mother would have picked Cirelli, maybe Fogel. If you're going with the Spitfires, it would have been Addison or Bracco. Who had Aaron Luchuk as the Memorial Cup winning goal in their pool?
Well, hell, I'm happy for Aaron because I've been watching that line all tournament. And I've been really impressed with just the workmanlike approach that they take to it. Everybody's a fast guy on that line. May not be the biggest, but they're willing to put in the work, as we saw with that last goal.
I didn't believe he had the winning goal until the horn sounded. Even empty net face off in Windsor's end with 30 seconds left. I didn't believe it was going to happen until it happened. So.
How intense was those final few seconds? Windsor ices it a couple times. They never even got a sniff at that empty net tonight.
No.
Like they could. That was kind of the one thing that the Spits didn't really have going for them tonight, was they were losing face-offs like crazy.
Yep, and it was again, it was DiPietro was the difference maker. Erie led the whole game in shots. They don't track scoring chances on the Memorial Cup stats website, but they probably led in those too. So it was a very good game for the Windsor defense and DiPietro, and Erie just has all the power up front.
Maybe going back to the intensity of those dying minutes, I'm amazed that it took that one chance from Fogel and then Cirelli on the rebound with 11 seconds left to really spark something, just some sort of skirmish in front of Windsor's net, because it's relatively tame towards it. You didn't really see anything extracurricular after the whistles, but there may be a few punches thrown, and better late than never, I guess.
The Windsor Spitfires are your 2017 Memorial Cup champions. Not much to say than that, guys. Again, thank you both so much for becoming pretty much honorary fanboys. You guys are on the podcast a lot. You were at the tailgate every day, so we thank you both.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm sure Brian, not on camera, but he will be thanking you off camera, because I think we got a party to get to, people.
Yeah, right.
The Spitfire fans are partying. You are going to see some of that. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. It might be blurry. I don't know.
R-rated?
Yeah. Well, we're not going to go that far. We're not going to go that far. Anyway, for Iain Colpitts, Adam Selvig, I am Steve McLean. We'll see you in the next segment for the Memorial Cup post-game party here in Windsor, Ontario.